Good evening. Welcome. My name is Kwabena. I want to share with you life is an investment. Life is an investment. For most people in this life, they set their goals, they plan their lives, they set their aspirations based on the background that they have. And so if their family people were poor, if they were born in a bad community, so to say, a poor community, very few people are able to help themselves by understanding that no matter where you are born, the life that you live eventually is just a reflection of the investment that were made by you, and sometimes investments that were made by others. Usually, after 20, 30, 40 years, the life that most people live happen to reflect the investment, how they traded their time, how they traded the time that they had for knowledge, for skill development, for the things that they set for themselves. At a point, if we'll have the family that you come from, sometimes even the education that you had, the kind of parents that you had, or even in the community that you were born in, that people understand. It's just a reflection of the bed. A lot of people hoping that their lives will change by chance, because as usual, the programming that most people have in this life is that they've not been told that they have the power to change the outcome of their life eventually. And so most people just live with that conviction that if I was born poor, then I will be poor. If I was born rich, then I will be rich. If I was born in a poor community, then I have little chance to succeed in this life. Usually, that may be just a fact to a certain point. It's only a fact when you believe that that is true. That where you were born, the environment you were born in, has big influence on how your life will turn out to be. Those who try to understand that a lot of this life, what they become, is really in their hand. The earlier that we get to understand that, in spite of the background that we have, in spite of the family that we were born in spite of the community that we were born in, if we get the conviction that life is an investment, and usually the percentages are very high, that the returns of that investment, the success that we get in this life, are largely, the things that we place our time in, the things that we traded our time, our resources to get. And so it does not really matter where you were born in this life. It does not really matter which family you came from, whether your father was rich or whether your father was poor, whether you came from a community that had light or had not light, whether you were born in Africa or you were born in America. I think that it gets to a time in this life that the life that people live, not everybody, but most people, the life that they live eventually before they leave this earth, is a reflection of the investment that they made with their lives. Whether they went to school or they didn't go to school, whether they became, engineers or lawyers or business people, at a point, the life that they live. Some people will argue that, if you're born in a good family, the chances are that you will not go through a lot of pain. Maybe. But your father's life cannot be your life. If your father was rich, maybe he will leave you money. But the life, the influence that you live could not be the one that your father left you. You will still have to live and make the mark yourself. You may find it easier compared to the man who is coming from, say, a family that nobody was there for him, because he would have to fight a lot more. But at a point, they all settle in equilibrium, so to say. We live the life. We reflect the life eventually. When you're 50, when you're 60, when you're 40, the life that you're living is more of the one that you invested your time, your resources, your convictions. And so when somebody comes from a poor background, they did not go to good school. Maybe they even stopped school at JSS. If you don't take care, you will think that it's because the guy did not go to school or they came from very tough background. That's why their life is how it is. Maybe. But most often, it's that belief that I was born in a poor family. It's that belief. That is what makes people, that makes people fail in this life, or that makes people success in this life. It's that belief that I was born in a poor family. I was born in a harsh environment. Therefore, I will not amount to anything. That conviction, that belief, that philosophy, those things that shape their worldview, that is the power that keeps them. It's not so much the poverty that they were born in. If the same person who was born in a poor background with JSS kind of education, if that person happens to hear somebody say that in spite of where you were born, when you are 50, when you're 60, you will not have the opportunity to blame your father who was poor or your mother who was poor. And that at a point, you cannot hold them responsible. You may have to fight harder because you were born in a harsh environment. But the other advantage of you being born in a harsh environment is that you become very tough. You become desperate. You become resilient. You become what is that? You get to have this force, that energy in you that wants to explode. The only thing I think is between the person who was born in a well-to-do family, so to say, and the one who was born in a very poor family. It's not the money that separates them to become successful. It's the fighting. It's the fight that they put up. It's the conviction that they put up. And that's why I'm saying life is an investment. If you were born to parents who were not business people, who were not entrepreneurs, and you get the conviction that I want to become a business person, and so maybe they didn't even send you to school, so maybe you finish SSGs. And this is the typical scenario of a lot of people who live in towns and villages. Now you want to become a business person. You have very little education, or maybe you even have a degree. And you look around and you think that the options are not many. And you look around and you think that you don't have anybody to connect you to anywhere. Even in a situation like that you think is so bizarre, the results that you get in the next 30 years, the next 40 years, could not be the fact that you were born in a poor family. Never. The results will be the conviction that you had that you will be in charge of your life. You can create the life that you want. So you wanted to become an entrepreneur, you had no opportunity, you had no, not opportunity, you had nobody to look up to, you had no family, you had no money, nothing. If you set out with that thinking, with that conviction that I want to become something with my life, and you're able to decide that, okay, I want to become a business person, I want to own my own company or my own companies, no matter which village you come from, no matter how much little education you have, if you start with that conviction and you keep going, after 30 years, you have something to show. Whether you had education, whether you had nothing, you didn't have anything at all, you will still have something to show. Because your life will just reflect the investment that you have put in yourself. And so most people coming from such backgrounds, how do you see them use their time? Most of them maybe will not even go to school at all. They finish the SHS or the JSS and that's it. And then they retired to their hometowns in the villages, and they get around to maybe just do some little farming. They become, they drink a lot, they marry 2 or 1. They don't set goals to lift themselves from the poverty. They don't set themselves up to say that I was born in this kind of family, but I don't want to die in this kind of situation. And my children should not live this way. What will keep that person poor as the parents is not because the parents were poor. It's because the person did not hear words that could lift him beyond that poverty. And if somebody gets to introduce that person to philosophies of life, to ideas of life, to say that yes, you were born poor, but you don't have to be poor. And that in spite of the situation that you were born in, if you trade your time well, if you set vision for yourself, whatever that you want to become, if you plan and you set the path and you develop a strategy and you commit to hard work, you commit to becoming better every day, you commit to being an honest person of character, a kind person, a forgiving person, a person who is resilient, persevering. Those things are the things that when you invest in, you can harvest the best of life. So life is an investment. Whatever that we trade our life, the convictions that we have when we're growing up, those are the things that will decide the future that we get. And so it's not really at a point, it's not really the family, the poverty that we were born into. No. Beyond 30, 40, it has nothing to do with the family that you were born into. It becomes your responsibility. It becomes your responsibility. The only thing is that a lot of people don't get to have the right knowledge, the right tools, the right understanding, the right wisdom to know that their life, the lives that they are living, they are responsible for the future results. I think that most people rather spend their life, especially those who were born in poor families, spend their life looking at the conditions that they were born into and worrying about those conditions more than taking responsibility to say that, yes, I was born in this kind of situation. I could not have the chance to go to university. I finished JSS. My father did not take care of me. My mother didn't have any money. I became a mason. It's the limited information that they have about life. That is their disadvantage. If somebody helps them, or if they get to a situation where somebody helps them with the right information, that person who was born poor with limited education can turn his life or her life around with the right tools. Because after a while, the results that I get, I cannot blame it on my parents, good or bad. The results that you get, you cannot blame it on your parents, good or bad. You may not become a doctor, you may not become an engineer, but you can live the life that you set for your life, for yourself to live. You can live in financial freedom. You can live in health. You can have a very successful family. You can have a very successful business life, career, because you decided to change. Because you decided to invest rightly at a point when somebody with the right information. And so life is an investment. And when I say life, is referring to the life that you happen to be living. That life. And what is an investment? An investment is a trade-off of resources, of time, of things. You put something into something, that thing to give you returns. And so if you put time, your life is a time actually, into anything, you would want to see that there will be results. Our lives reflect the investments that we have done. The boy who is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15, that our parents did for us. From 18, 20 going, you cannot blame anybody else. It becomes your life. And so, you cannot blame anybody. In spite of the difficulties, it's still a conviction that you have to have. In spite of the problems, you turn around and you have no money to eat, you have no money to buy food, you have no money to buy shirt, you have nowhere to sleep. You can look at that situation and say that my parents didn't help me. I wish somebody sent me to school. And yet you are 35. You still have second part of your life to live, third part of your life to live. If you can change that philosophy to say that if I invest the rest of my life well, I can change the results in the next 30 years, in the next 20 years, in the next 10 years. It's just a reflection. And so you see people, for instance, you see anybody who writes book, who has ever written a book. Most writers are people who read a lot of books. So at a point in time, that investment comes out. Anything that we spend our life to do is that which we become. And so if the poor man continues to be poor, it's because the poor man continued to spend his life on the things that were making him poor. He continued to believe in things that were poor. That's why his life turned out to be poor. If that same man gets a different kind of knowledge, it will not matter the poverty. After a while, after 5, 10, 20 years, you will see that that man will live beyond the poverty. I have seen something, that if you meet somebody who is grateful, who is thankful, who is hardworking, who is honest, somebody who is kind, who is ambitious, somebody you can depend on, somebody who is hardworking, somebody who wants to be trained, somebody with integrity. If you meet such a person, people do not even look at their background. People don't look at people's background. When you see somebody with that, somebody who is very thankful of the help that people give them, somebody who is hardworking, somebody you can give something to and you come and the person has grown it, somebody who is sincere, somebody who is kind, somebody who has heart for people. If you see somebody with those values, you want that person to come close to you. And those are the things that you use your life to invest in. If you invest in those things, you can never die poor, even if you were born poor. Sometimes I see young men who somebody helps, maybe they gave them job, they gave them opportunities, and they turn out eventually to malign that person, become very ungrateful to that person. I'll see people, or I'm seeing somebody who will never become great unless they change. If you see them with money, if you see them with houses, cars, go and check well. It will not be an honest results that you're seeing. They will be cheating. They'll be lying. They'll be having grant or free money. Why? Because the thing that produces results the thing that gets people with nothing to become something, are these basic things that are available to everybody. Hard work, integrity, honesty, intelligence, kindness. Those things are the things that if you have nothing, you invest in. That's why when you see somebody complaining, it's just a switch of mind that you need. If you have nobody, at least you don't need somebody to be kind. You don't need somebody to be hardworking. You don't need somebody to pick a book to read if you can read. You don't need somebody to be for you. You give you an assignment and they can depend on you. That one you don't need somebody. That one is a switch that you can make in a minute to say that I want to be dependable. I want to be somebody who is a hard worker. I want to be somebody who people can trust. If you turn your life to invest in these things, no matter the difficulties that you have this time, they'll pay off. I met people who say that they want to start business, and you look at their background, they had no family person, they had no family people who were ever into business. And these people decide that they want to become business. Now, if you have such a background, you're starting the business with probably zero information on business, entrepreneurship. You may not even have any skill for any product or any service at all. But because of that conviction that that person wants to start a business. Now, the danger I see that this person will endure a lot of difficult situation. But that person can still become a great business person. That person can still own a company. That person can still solve problems and build companies. Why? Because of the basic things that are available to everybody. Which is what? Which is hard work. They believe in the principles of being faithful. They are grateful to people. They are not the ones going around complaining and lying about people and memory. They are people who are looking for knowledge all the time. They are not looking for somebody else to always help them. They are people who can take up the strength to say that, even if I have nothing, I have life. And once I have life, I will treat this life to get. Those are the convictions. That's why I say that life is an investment, and it doesn't matter where your parents were born or what condition that you were born in. The most painful thing is not getting the belief earlier. You can create the life that you want. That belief is what does not hit people early in life. But if it hits you early and you commit to the right processes, then no need to worry about your background. Even if you finish JSS at a point and you want to go to school, you can still go. Because that which makes people successful is not the parents' money that they gave you. It's not the parents' house that they left you. It's not that your uncle is a politician. No. Your uncle is a politician, but he doesn't own Ghana. So even if your uncle gives you business, it means that your uncle was lying. That's why he was able to give you business. If your father is the president and he gives you 10 million and the president had no proper way of getting money, it means that the president was lying. Because you become a president, nobody pays you 1 million. So if your uncle was a president and he was honest, he could not give you that kind of money. If your brother was a minister and he was cutting corners for you to get all the projects, they didn't help you. Why? Because you will not develop those ideals. Being honest, being hardworking, going for knowledge all the time, improving yourself, treating people with respect, kindness. Those are the things that when you invest in, your dream will become a reality. So it does not really matter where you were born. And it does not really matter where you even live. If you have these things and they become your conviction, they become an investment that you make. And they will reflect. And so if I started a business and I was very young and nobody knew me and I had nobody to help me, if I continue to push into the time, if I continue to go around, if I continue to believe that I can make the business work, if I continue to go to the next office to get a project, if I continue to go to the next one day, even though they deny me, I continue to go. Those processes are investments that I'm making. At a point, the investments will start to make some returns. Why? Because I am not sitting down. Somebody is sleeping. I am going from one company to the other. I'm going from one place to the other. I am working. I'm closing around 9, 10, 12 p.m. every day. I'm pushing. Those things, it could be painful. It could be tiresome. It could be something that nobody wants to do. But if I continue to trade those, if I continue to put those in time, they will pay off. And those don't become luck. It's just that you understand that for your life to change, you have to trade something with time. And so you got your vision, you got your goal, you started to push for it. Even though you were not seeing any results. The first year you didn't see any results, you didn't give up. The second year you didn't see any results, you didn't give up. You kept going. Sometimes the 8th year you were still pushing. Because you understand that you, based on your background, you had to push more for you to get results. And so you continue to work, you continue to push, you continue to work, you continue to push, you continue. If you believe that what you're doing is not a curse, and that there's no demon somewhere trying to take your life, or trying to make you not to succeed, because most people, instead of them to believe this kind of things, they rather believe that if they do anything and it's tough, then it means that somebody else somewhere in their village is trying to not them succeed. So you really look at it, it's not the poverty, it's the belief system that the poor people have about what it takes to succeed. And so they will try 1, 2, 3, and if it doesn't work, then they will say that somebody else is responsible for why they are not getting results. Now, the other person who can switch that to say that, listen, I'm coming from this kind of background, and so it is going to take me a while for me to get results. And so I'm going to push and push and push and push until I see results. Even if it's going to take me 10 years, if it's going to take me 20 years, I'm still going to push, because this is the dream I have. I have a dream to build 100 million company. And so I'm going to work at it no matter what. So when others are playing, when others are watching football, when others are dancing, I am behind my dream. I am pushing. I am fighting. I am talking to people. I am going. You see somebody who is trying to develop, maybe, the people who work in the lab, they're trying to come out with a drug to cure some disease. Sometimes they can work on a drug for how long? Years. But they believe that they have that. So they push. They are not the ones complaining that there is somebody in their village trying to kill them, or trying to make sure that they don't succeed. They push. They push. They push. They push. And that is the investment that you're making. And so your life, if you are 30 years now, whatever results that you have, they just reflect the investment that you made in the past. You cannot blame anybody for the results that you have. Whether you're happy with your life or you're very miserable with your life, it's just that you traded that. Your parents contributed just a little. If you're 40 years, if you're 50, if you're 60, you cannot blame anybody for the life that you're enjoying now. It is the way you saw life and the way you traded. What you put in life is what you're getting. And it has nothing to do with where you live. It has nothing to do with that. And so you can switch, you can actually change the future when you have the conviction that my life is an investment. And I have some resources that I can invest. And one of the best resources that you can invest is your time. How you are spending that time. Are you focusing that time to the future that you want? Are you spending that time well to get the results that you want to see in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years? Do you have a goal that you have set for and that you are pushing this time in it? If you have any resources at all, physical, maybe money, any kind of resource that you have, are you focusing those resources on the future that you want? Because those are the investments that you're making. Are you investing in knowledge today so that tomorrow you become wise? Because whatever that you know will not just come to you. And if you don't know it, you can't do it. So if you are ignorant in something and you don't spend time to invest in yourself, to get the knowledge, tomorrow will come and you still be ignorant person. What is it that you know about your life? What is it that you know about finances? What is it that you know about goals? What is it that you know about the things that you want to achieve? Are you spending your time to get the required information, the required skill, the required knowledge, so that you can create the future that you want? Because the future, even though it will come, it was really an investment that you made in yesterday. And this is one of the things that maybe people should understand, that you cannot, if you see somebody successful, I'm not talking of the ones that are just doing, usually when you refer to success, we are referring to, houses and cars, maybe. But I'm not referring to the guy who is just cutting corners to get anywhere. I'm talking of somebody who is honest, building something with his life. If you see those people have resource, it's because they traded something in the past. That's why they have the resource. So it's an investment. All of us are making investment, and you can predict the kind of returns that you want if you have the right knowledge. But most of us grew up without thinking that we could really invest our time well, invest our resources well to create the future that we want. So the future just came to meet us, and we were not prepared for it, or we underestimated the kind of investment that we had to do for us to create a future that we so wish. So, but if you are somebody who and you are not straight, you just want to just cut corners and brush it and run and maneuver, you think that you're smart, the future will come to meet you and you will not have invested anything in that. Because the strength of your life is in the investment that we are making. The strength of our lives for tomorrow is the investment that we are making today. And one of the best investment is the investment to improve the way you look at life, the knowledge that you have, the things that you assume about life, even if they are true, even if they are not true, because those things work against us. So people live life thinking that their life will never improve, or their life will improve just because they got another year, another 2 years, another 3 years added to their lives, without looking at is a conscious orchestration. That if I put something in my life, it's not joke. It's if we put something in your life, that one will come to give you returns. If you work in a company as manager and nobody respects you because they think that you're lazy, if you decide tomorrow that I want to work in this company, I want to be one of the best workers here, I want to come in every morning, I want to work well, focus well. If they give me targets of 2 cities, I want to make it 10 cities. I want to be somebody that they can trust, no matter what. If they give me money to go and do something, I come back and report as it is. I am going to save the company money. I'm going to be as honest as I am. I'm going to be somebody that the boss can trust. If there is anything that anybody else has to do, I want to be that kind of person that they will send. If you make that decision, give yourself 6 months, 1 year, it will change. Everything in that company will change around you. You will not be the one going to beg for anybody to help you, because you start to invest your time where you need improvement. You invest your resources, your energy in where you need improvements. And once you become the best in that, there are other opportunities that will open to you. Just a decision. Just make that decision that I want to become the best here. Because everybody is looking for somebody who is hardworking, who is honest, and who has some level of clarity in their thinking, who has some bit of intelligence. If you become that person, nobody can stop you from working and becoming the best at the workplace. You become the star because you just change and becomes an investment. So you will not become the star just because you just wish. If your business, you want it to improve, the same. If you can improve the things that you have to improve, the business will change, because everything, every return, every dividend, every resource is just a proof of some kind of investment that somebody else did. So it's a conviction that if you want our life, if we want our lives to improve, we just have to understand that life is an investment, and it will just reflect the things that you invested in. And so we are not going to harvest, we are not going to get the returns that we didn't invest. We're not going to get the returns that we didn't invest. It's as simple as that. And so if you see anybody at all, the life that they are living, it's just a reflection. Whether they have peaceful, successful life, the life that you think that is worth it, go and look at the sacrifices that they made, the pain that they had to endure. Those are the investments. Those are the investment. When everybody else was cutting corners, they decided to say that no, I will be honest. When everybody else was lying about the company and castigating the manager, he said that no, I will be honest. If you are that kind of person, they send you anywhere to represent the company and you come back and you have your own personal business, you are not investing rightly. And that is a bad foundation that you are building. That foundation will crash on you. So you have a lot of people who just think that they are smart in our country. So anybody gives you trust and you just smash it. They give you opportunity to go and do something, the next minute you destroy it. You go there and you put only your self-interest there. You are the one who is asking for bribe everywhere. You are the one who is just trying to do anything just only for yourself. You don't do anything to help anybody. And when people even help you, you don't get back to say thank you. When people help you, you are the one who turns around to go and fight them. What you're doing is that you are investing wrongly. I say you should not be shocked when 10 years down the line, your life, you don't understand how your life became that. It's because you did not invest rightly. So your friend takes you to go and do something with him. The next minute, you are the one going behind him to go and cut corners. Those are bad investments. And everything that you invest in, there will be returns. Whether good returns or bad proof. Just make the conscious effort to invest well. Invest your time well. Invest in knowledge. Invest in being honest with people. Invest in being thankful to people. Being kind to people. Being forgiving to people. Become the best at what you do. Become the best skilled in whatever area that you work. And continue to practice. And practice well. And treat people well. Don't just trash people and think that your life in the future will become better. I've never met anybody who trashed people, who treated people anyhow, that their life turned out to be a very good life. Never. Even if I saw them with something, I knew that they were lying. I knew that they were stealing. I knew that they were lying on it, because you never meet anybody with the right returns of investment who were trashing people, who were dishonest, who were just maligning people, who were bent on destroying people, who were very ungrateful, who were unthankful, who were dishonest. You don't invest in those things and get the best of returns in life. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter how much little that you have to start life with. If you invest in the right things in life, just give yourself. It's a matter of patience. And it's a matter of diligence. It's a matter of you keeping on to follow the vision, the ideas, the goals, and continue to stretch your life. You don't need to be in haste to get results. You just have to be consistent. And the consistency will get you the results. And so if they put you anywhere, if you set any goal for yourself, if you decide to become a business person, whatever that you set out to be, just go there to know that you are going there to put in the right things so that you can get the results in the future. And our lives only reflect the kind of investment that we made. They cannot be the investment that our parents made for us. If you're 70 years, you cannot blame your parents for how you turn out to be. If you're 40, same. They may not have sent you to the best of school, but at least now you can read and write. What knowledge do you want to have? Can you look at your life, structure it to get that knowledge? What is it that you wanted to become all your life? Now that you have some level of clarity, can you sit down to say that I want to go back and do this? Or you just hope that future will just change? A lot of people just hope that God will change the future for them. Life is an investment. It's a trade-off. for the things that we spend our life to do. It's an investment. And so the best of it is become the best in getting the right knowledge, in you getting the vision, getting the goals that you set for yourself. Whatever that you do, you can become the best in that. Just resolve to put in the best of hours, get the best of knowledge in that, and become one of the best people that anybody at all can depend on. They can trust you with money, they can trust you with information, they can trust you with a relationship, they can trust you with everything. Even if you fail, correct it. And never be arrogant to trash people anyhow, just to treat people anyhow, just to lie on people, disrespect people. If somebody gives you opportunity, never disrespect them. Those are the marks of people who reap the investment on the downside, on the negative one, because they don't know how to hold the investment for the best of returns. And so I think that is not so much the background that we grew up in. It's not so much the family that we grew up in. Whether that family was rich or poor, it doesn't really matter. It's not so much the community that we were born. They only put some kind of struggles in terms of you getting up. They just become, you just have to do extra because of where you were born. But those things cannot stop you to become anything you want to become. The only thing that can stop you is the belief that you were born poor, you were born unlucky, and that's why you're struggling. No. If you buy that belief, then life becomes difficult. But the moment you get to understand that, yes, I was born in this kind of situation, but this is the life that I want to live, and these are the sacrifices that I would have to make. These are the prices that I will have to pay to become that great politician, that great business person, that great lecturer or professor, that great teacher, whatever that I set myself to do. Between me and that, it's just the sacrifices that I have to make. And somebody may have been born in a very rich family, but they still have one life to live, and their father's life could not be their life. Their mother's life, no matter how successful they are, could not be their life. If you look at, say, maybe a former president's children, they still have to make mark for themselves. Even if they can get some privileges based on the family background, but those don't mean anything. Those privileges do not prevent the other person without those privileges to become anything. The other person would just only have to fight double, to put in more hours, to put in more because of where he's coming from. But those hindrances, so to say, those perceived hindrances, cannot stop you to become what you want to become. They cannot stop you from becoming what you want to become. You just have to put in extra. More. That's it. But they cannot stop you from becoming what you become. So somebody, maybe you are doing a business and you need 1 million to do some investment. Somebody could just call the father because he's rich and the father gives you 1 million. Now, maybe you have nobody to call. So you just have to put in more effort to get the 1 million. Anyhow that you have to get it. You know, how many people that you have to call to get it. Somebody just finished school and the father will just place a call and say, my son has finished school, I want you to give him a job. And the next minute that boy is working. You finish school and nobody has any call to make for you. But that does not mean that the other guy is better than you. It only means that you have nobody, and so you have to do extra. So maybe you have to go and apply for 20 jobs, 100 jobs, 200 jobs, 300 jobs before you get one. That's why the guy with that kind of background would have to just put in more, and they have to be more energetic without giving up, without becoming sad, without feeling victimized or sorrowful because of his background. You don't have to let those things put you down. You really just have to let those things fuel you so that you can do more. You know, so some people can have those kind of background. If you don't have it, they should not prevent you from becoming anything you want to become. Nobody owns this life. It's only God. Nobody can prevent you from becoming whatever you want to become. Nobody. So far as you breathe, so far as you can see, so far as you are alive, you just only have to put in more hours. And that becomes the investment that you do. and that becomes the investment that you do. And so same with me, so with everybody. It really does not, nothing can prevent you from becoming what you want to become. That's why the guy who is in the village should understand. The guy who thinks that he's struggling in this life should understand. The guy who thinks that he has nobody should understand that at a point in time, it doesn't matter who you don't have. You just need change of conviction to say that my life, when I'm 50 years, will reflect the decisions that I made, the investment that I made. And nobody can stop you from becoming what you want to become. If you want to own anything, if you want to own a business, if you want to own a corporation, if you want to own a school, nobody can stop you. The only thing that can limit you is your belief system. That constantly reminds you that you are poor, so you can't be anything. And some people really believe that. So they finished school, they went to Legon, or they came to Kwabena University, they finished, they look for a job in the city, they didn't get it, and then they move back to the village to go and stay with their mother. Never. Fight here. If you try while nobody is calling you, no problem. Continue to fight. If it has to take you 3 years to get a job, continue. Because every minute that you take towards your dream is an investment that you're making. It will pay off. It will pay off. So people don't have that fighting spirit. It's not because they were born poor. No. It's just that the conviction is weak. The understanding of life is weak. The understanding of what it takes for them to become successful is weak. That is the only limiting factor. And they believe that somebody else is lucky. Somebody else was born rich. No. Nothing should be able to stop you from achieving your dreams and your goals. Nothing. Just resolve that. Especially if you are blessed to even go to some level of school, then your confidence is high. Nothing should stop you. Just go for it. Just go. And don't cry. If you have to buy your kogari and eat it for 2 months, 3 years, 1 year, go ahead and do that. Don't let lack prevent you from becoming what you want to become. Don't let lack of money. Don't let lack of food. Don't let lack of where to stay. Don't let the poor family. Don't let anything stop you from becoming what you want to become. You just have to understand that based on your background, you will just have to put in more hours than the other one. My father is not a professor. My father is not a business person. My father is not a lecturer. My father did not introduce me to any rich man or rich politician. We just had a dream to build businesses. And so, if other guy whose father had money could easily do something faster, I had to do it by fighting every day. But it gets to a point, it becomes clear. It gets to a point, you become networked. It gets to a point, you see what you're doing. It gets to a point, you become clear as to what it takes for you to get the results. So it really does not matter. If you can hear me in English, you have everything that it takes to become what you want to become. Everything. Just decide to be hardworking, to be honest. Continue to go for knowledge. Educate yourself all the time. Be somebody that people can trust. If somebody opens door for you, make sure that you don't trash that person just anyhow. Treat people with respect, with dignity. Be honest to people. Continue to follow your dream, fight, and never think that you are disadvantaged. And you don't have to go to America, you don't have to go to England, you don't have to go to Papua New Guinea to be successful. You can be successful in this country if you want to be successful. You only have to understand that you will have to do more than the others. And so if people are going 1 mile per hour, you are going 20 miles per hour. Because you know the situation, you know where you're coming from, you know what it takes. So you become dependable. If anybody gives you opportunity, you don't let them down. You put in the best of hours, you push more. Because that is what it takes for you to succeed. And that's why your life is just an investment that reflects what you put in. Nobody is responsible for the success or the failures that we have. It's just the conviction, the limited convictions that we place in ourselves. Those convictions prevent us from achieving anything. But nobody, for me, nobody in this life is disadvantaged. Nobody. Because everything that has to be taken, everything that we need to succeed, we all have it. We all have it. Even your convictions of money. Some people think that they need money to start a business. And so, without the money, they will never start a business. No. If you don't have the money, you have the energy, fight more. If somebody took 3 years to start a business and you don't have anything, maybe it will take you 6 years. But continue to fight. It doesn't matter. Because every step that you take towards your vision is an investment that will bring you returns. Every step. Every step. It will take somebody 1 year to start their business and model it well. It will take somebody 3 years. Because of the different backgrounds. And never let the difficulties prevent you from becoming what you want to become. Never. That is what people should understand. And never look at somebody to think that those people don't have any, they don't have trouble. They all have trouble. Even the one which is the richest, they all have trouble. So why worry? Just look at what you can do with your life and continue to put in the resources there. Continue to deliver. No matter how little that they say start something, continue to deliver there. If they gave you some opportunity to do something, go and do it well. If they told you to carry the water, carry it well. If they told you to go and do little things that people test you with, let them understand that you can perform and perform it far better than anybody else that they know. And that's why you continue to push through. And that's what you become. So never think that you need anything more than yourself to succeed. You need yourself to succeed in this life. And don't listen to the religious. They are the ones, because of laziness and fear, they are the ones worrying God and waiting for God. Meanwhile, God has given us brains to use. He has given us energy. He has given us strength. He has given us power to go. So don't wait for God. Go. Push yourself. Don't let the fact that you think that you're a woman stop you from achieving your goals. And don't let anybody tell you that you are young. You're too young. Don't let anybody tell you that you are too small. No. Just go for your goals. And if you can go for your goals, nothing will stop you. And nobody is far more advantaged than you. Between you and your goal, you are the only one who's advantaged. So never let anything stop you from achieving your goals, because life is just a reflection of the investments that we make in ourselves. So you cannot take somebody else's investment. The benefit of somebody's investment, the dividends, you cannot take it. You can only reap from the investment that you made for yourself. And nobody is disadvantaged. The investment, they come from the hard work, they come from the knowledge that you invest in, they come from how you use the resources that are available to you, the character that you have, the strength that you have. Those are the basic investment that every one of us has. And every one of us can set from where we are with these things and create the life that we want. Every human, no matter, even if you were born with nothing, you still have the opportunity, and that opportunity is yours. So never believe that somebody else is more advantaged than you. The power to create the life is in you. You just have to understand that the results that you enjoy when you are 50 years, when you are 60 years, when you are 70 years, will just show the investment that you made when you are young. And the very results that you are enjoying now, they are just the dividends that you're enjoying based on the investment that you made some time ago. So never think that life will just change. Life is just a reflection of the investments that we have made. It's a reflection. Your life is not going to change in a snap. It's going to change because you committed to investing something in it. My life is the same. It's going to change because I'm committed to something. It's a goal that I'm committed in. So if I focus on becoming a footballer, I cannot reap as a boxer the benefits of a boxer. No. If I focus to becoming a business person and I continue to build the business, I can only benefit from the business that I built. If I focus my life to become a politician, I cannot benefit from the life of, say, a doctor. So everything that you are trading our life, trading our time, trading our resources, putting in, how well we are putting in, is the benefits that we will get to have when the time comes. So my name is Obendako. I'm talking about life is an investment. And some people think that they were born in the wrong family, so they will never succeed. And the situation is not the wrong family they were born in, the poor family they were born in. No. It's the conviction that they have of what they call poverty. That is what prevents them from becoming anything. If they will know that their life that they have to have, the future life they want, if they invest rightly, they will become whatever they want to become, in spite of whatever family they were born in. You can do that. And that's the knowledge that most people don't have. And what are the things that you invest in? You invest in becoming the very person that people can depend on. If they give you something, you work hard to make sure that you get results. You become somebody who is very much interested in becoming better all the time, getting knowledge, getting understanding, in whatever you do. You become the best. You make a decision to become the best in what you do. You treat people well. You treat people with respect. You don't just malign people and waste your time discussing and dissing people, those things. No. You become somebody who is committed to integrity, to honesty, to the values of life that get you the best of returns. Because life, what you put in is what you get in the future. And every one of us has the best shot to change and to develop and invest in something today that you benefit tomorrow. And so thank you very much for watching. Life is an investment. Life is an investment. So you can improve or you can change your life by working hard, by going for knowledge, by practicing honesty, by treating people well, by diligence. All of us can create the life that we want, because it's just an investment. And the more you put in something, if you have any dream, you put in more. The more you put in the hours, the more you push, the more you push, the more you push. Those things will create value, and those value will give you results. So thank you very much for watching. And never believe that somebody else is doing you. Nobody else is doing you. You just have to put in the right investment, and you reap the right resources. The right resource. The right resource. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you.